Hear me okay? Oops.
Yeah, we can hear you okay.
Yep, this one.
Yep.
Hey, welcome everybody to Battle Pirates Crib, Shipwreck, and I think we're going to talk a little bit about the new FM target. And let me go introduce everybody. Aussie.
Good morning, everybody.
Magic Mike.
Hello, everybody.
Lady Cat.
Hello.
Jeff/Kenny.
I'm here again.
Okay, and Two Doors.
It me. Hello.
Hello.
What was that? That sounded like a bleep.
I mean, it is a Friday afternoon play, but it's almost over.
Okay. I'm first going to ask if people are participating, and then I'm going to ask you if you're how many points you have. Also, are you participating?
Negative.
How many points do you have?
0.
Okay, Mike. How many are you participating?
No, not really.
How many points do you have?
Do I have to say?
Yeah.
Yes.
364,000.
Okay. Lady Cat, are you participating?
Yes.
How many points do you have?
About 20,000.
Okay. Jeff, are you participating in Shipwrecks?
On the fence about it. I haven't started yet.
Okay.
I might try it and see how I do.
How many points do you have?
0.
Okay. And Two Doors?
No, I have the square root of -1 points.
Okay.
Isn't it infinite?
I'm not,
lowercase I.
yes, I'm not participating, and I don't have any points either. But some of the observant people might have noticed an outlier or two, especially on the right side of the screen as far as participation versus reward. This is one of the problems that I've been talking about associated with this, how Kixeye has set up this raid style that seems to overly compensate players in alliances, especially alliances that are participating in shipwrecks. If I do my math correctly, I think you're like 23rd globally, but not participating, Mike. This is not your fault whatsoever.
I can honestly say I'm a bit embarrassed.
No, there's no reason for you to be embarrassed whatsoever.
Well, I haven't helped my...
All I'm saying is the way this has been set up is I don't think it's life is not fair, but it's not encouraging to players that are not in one of those alliances. So I don't know. Does anybody... and I don't know where Ben is. We're assuming, in case anybody's worried, we're assuming he's at the Area 51 invasion. I thought Two Doors might be there, but he showed up right at the last moment because you're not too far away. You know, it's a day trip, right?
It's a day trip. It's a day trip.
Yeah. So you could go and come back. You know, if it got really ugly. You know. So,
I mean, they might just capture me and think I'm an alien. I'm pretty pasty.
Yeah, these things could happen. So,
I hear a couple of hundred people showed up.
So far.
So far.
Yeah. And Ben, I guess Ben is one of them. So we'll see. We'll get the report back from him hopefully on Wednesday or Friday, next Friday. See how it all went.
He could be abducted for a couple of weeks. You never know.
Yeah. So, does anybody have any opinions on? Well, I'll lead into. I know something that Lady Cat is concerned with. We all saw. Roughly 24 hours before the raid, there was a briefing put out that really didn't provide any information besides when it started, when it stopped, and a lot of pictures of skins. And then I think it was 4:10 Eastern time. and then the Shipwrecks started at 6. They dropped the actual prize list less than 2 hours prior to it. Anybody have any thoughts on that?
Oh, yeah. Grizzly then. You knew this was coming. I like Shipwrecks. I know most people on this panel do not, but I have enjoyed Shipwrecks since they started. At the beginning, my alley was really good. We're working together, and we got lots of points with Shipwrecks, and I assisted them. I did not just be a non-participant and get points, nothing personal, Mike, but I was part of it. But as time wore on and Shipwrecks started going downhill, most of my alliance stopped doing it. They just didn't enjoy it anymore. I still enjoy it. I still want to do it. When I saw the prize list, I had said last week, if the prize list is no good, I'm not going to do Shipwrecks. But, if it is, then I will. Well, when I saw it was only skins, I was on what I assumed was only skins as prizes. I'm like, oh, cool. This is an easy weekend. I get the weekend off. I don't have to play the game. I can go have a real life. And that's what I'm going to do. But had prizes been listed, I had this offer already from an alliance that gets a lot of points, and I could have been a partial participant and ridden the coattails of other people in an alliance if I had joined them.
Boy, do I feel good now.
Well, see, I would have had to have left my alliance. I have an alliance. I like my alliance. I would never leave them permanently, but temporarily to better myself in this game and start catching up on some PvP tech and PvP upgrades, then, this was an opportunity. I did not do that because we were only going to have skins. Now, raid started the Shipwrecks had already started when I was able to get on the game. And then I saw the prizes, and then I got pissed because I didn't join the other alliance. And I knew my alliance was going to struggle because they hadn't kept up with Shipwrecks. So now, there might be a few players that will participate in the alliance Shipwrecks in my alliance, but I'm going to have to do it on my own, and there's no way. Mike is doing nothing, and he's got over 300,000 points.
But I will tell you, there's only like one thing that I really...
That's not the point, Mike. The point is, had we been given the information and 24 hours in advance like we're supposed to be given, although it used to be 2 days in advance, now it's 24 hours, then I could have made the decision. How can I make a strategy decision if they don't give me the information to create the strategy?
And again, don't hate the player, hate the game.
I did not know this was...
I know, Mike. It's nothing about you, and it's nothing about your alliance. I wish I had the opportunity to ride coattails. I never have before, but I would have done it this week. But now I locked out because all the information wasn't there, and I'm not happy.
So if I'm going to respond one to the person in chat, I think it was Chuck, lazy or late with briefings, he said, I think they're being overworked. They've got, even though VXP weekend is usually pretty free, they just re-put up last month's target and what have you. I mean, they're coming out of a raid. There wasn't anything new in the FM. I feel like a lot of resources were pushed towards this shipwreck thing and making everything work right. And the new additions such as you win the battle, you're automatically repaired. I think they kind of went all in on getting that out and in a viable state. Now to the point where they wouldn't have the briefing 2 hours before. Honestly, I think so. I think that as a general rule, the game devs, especially ones for even the big companies, but even the smaller companies, I think the game devs are treated extremely poorly. Now, I don't have any evidence for Kixeye doing this, but considering what I've seen in the spectrum of top to bottom, I think they're overworked. They can't get everything right and then get the briefing set up and then get it out the door. There just wasn't enough time after the raid, etc.
Okay, why can't you just have the statement, prizes to be decided, or prizes announced later? That's all I had to say, that there's more coming.
They probably thought they could do it. I'd imagine hubris, because really they should know better by now. We're not getting the raid briefing until real close to time either, much closer to the start time than we've had before. My question now is, we know they're able to differentiate points in terms of blitz versus not because of that one leaderboard snafu that one time. What if they were somehow able, and I think this is possible, although I'm not sure how, to differentiate personal points from alliance points and have different stores for them? Like if you, Lady Cat, got 20,000 shipwreck points, you could buy the new top turret versus the skins with alliance points. Sorry.
Or what about just changing the ratio of points paid out to alliance targets, considering the fact that it's paid out to 75 to 100 people? Just change how many alliance points are paid out to the alliance. You understand what I'm saying?
They could. I kind of don't think they will because it's a huge draw. You can get a lot of points if you're in a big enough alliance, not to single anybody out, but you could do that, and I think that's a big draw. And that's going to get the top alliances spending, and the top alliances make up a lot of the whales, even though I hate that term, in this game. That's where they are. So you're going to want to incentivize them to spend, and they're helping out their fellow alliance members and all the hitting that they're doing, and they're going to get the, I don't know, top spot in alliance, EPing contest, hooray, go team for this month.
Yeah, but if you create a store that has a lot of, you're talking about differentiating the stores, and are they still going to be as interested in doing that if there's really less useful things in the I don't know. I came up with a couple of terms, but in the alliance created points, if there's just sort of useless stuff, like at least for the players that are close to the top of the game or near the top of the game, like if they left in all the base upgrade stuff, which is probably useless for a lot of people, as opposed to cutting the payouts by 90%. That go out to the other players.
I would think that
still keep it the same store. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I would actually, even though I mentioned putting the useful things in the personal store and the cosmetics in the alliance store, because that's what I personally would want, I think the better way would actually be to do that in reverse, where if you want to get the cool, pretty skins, you got to work for it, because as Fortnite taught us, people will pay a lot for pretty skins on their characters. Cutting the amount, I think it would be an interesting idea. I'm just not sure how much that would cut participation, because at that point, people would try to get what they themselves wanted, sure, and then they probably wouldn't go very much farther beyond that. And okay, so at a high enough ranking, you'll get enough players to cover some of those costs, but not all. I think that some players that are trying to get all of it or a lot of things, but might not want to put in as much effort, might not participate at all. I think they might lose a bit of participation overall if that were to happen, but maybe not.
Okay. Songy Mango is saying the points that Mike has is virtually down to one player in the alliance doing all the work. So how is that unfair? It's the skill and enthusiasm of the player concerned. But Songy Mango, it throws off the whole economy, and it discourages players that aren't in these alliances from even participating, because they realize, okay, some people that aren't participating have more points than they would ever be able to spend in one day. And then there's people that are going to grind away and do it individually and not be able to, come up with a 20th, 5% of what players that don't participate are able to get.
Yeah.
That's more of my issue with it. It's cutting down on the player base that wants to participate. I mean, if somebody wants to go out and go gangbusters for everybody, that's fine. But 364,000 points versus 36,000 points, that still buys you more than players that are participating. That's sort of my thought on it. As far as it's great that they want to help, but it just seems like the payout is too great for players that aren't participating.
What if there were tiers in the store? What if there was one whole big store, but in order to purchase any of the skins, let's say, you had to get, I don't know, 5,000 personal points or 1,000. And if you wanted to buy the turrets, you had to get 5,000 or 10,000, a little more. And the rest of those could come, just the ability to purchase these items is locked behind a particular personal threshold.
But it's still, maybe. It's just,
maybe.
It's, the numbers are so off. I used to put tables together on this, and they acted like they were going to change it, and they changed it to a very small degree. But they didn't change it enough. I mean, there should be, I think, the same payout or even a larger payout for the individual that hits the alliance targets. But the payout to the non-participants of that individual target needs to be slashed dramatically in order to make it, make it feel fair to the other players. You could create these little roadblocks, and the players are going to overcome them. They're going to find a way. If you just create a little roadblock here, roadblock there, they're going to figure out how to do it. But if you just slash the points, because the number of points is just crazy. I mean, I don't know.
Well, see, that's why I would have.
Bye,
I
everybody.
would have left
Have fun.
my alliance.
Okay, later.
See ya. I would have left my alliance, people that I'm friends with, temporarily to ride the coattails of another alliance.
Mm-hmm.
Just for this week. Which wasn't really fair, except that I would have helped because I like Shipwrecks. I would have helped that alliance. I would have been a participant, but I just wish we'd had more information.
Okay.
I know they are busy. I'm sure they're busy with other things. This 2-raid cycle can't be any better for them than it is for us. They're having to do things at a whole lot faster pace now. So I'm sure that's difficult. They have new teams, new people. I understand that there's issues there, but that doesn't mean they can just cut us off and tell us. I mean, they need to just tell us, hey, we're running into some issues and we're going to be late, but we are coming out with something. Or tell us when they have bug fixes. They just need to be a little more informative with us.
Okay. Has anybody hit the current TLC? I haven't hit this one.
Mike did.
Mike did, yeah.
Mike,
I did the first prize pack.
Okay.
I wasn't real happy with it just because it takes a long damn time.
Do you see the question below?
Well, what's the deal with the fog and the TLC? Yeah, well, that's true too. But it happened to me more with the not the Nemi, with the other fleet.
Saturn.
The Saturns got spotted more.
Well, which target, Kyle?
Every time I've seen that happen is one of three things happening.
Yeah.
One is they start a ship. Literally, they have a starting ship in the cloud. So when you trigger, then they see you right away. But I haven't seen that for a while. Other one is you don't see it. Those invisible ships that stay submerged till you're in your range are driving through the fog somewhere on the map. You just don't see them, and they reveal everything to everybody. And then the third one is you just you're missing the fact that there's some one that you can see that's driving from a distance into the fog. But as soon as any fog bank is penetrated, every ship sees you, regardless of whether it's your fog bank or
Yes.
some other one.
Yes.
So generally speaking, I have not seen a bug related to fog. It's always come down to, when you look at it carefully, some ship is traveling through the fog that you may not even see.
Prize Pack 1 took me a long time. So I can't imagine doing 7 targets in an hour. I don't know how that's possible without some
You
huge,
destroy your fleet on the last left, no matter
massive amount of damage and possibly not even making it with one full fleet. Or
what. Oh,
with
it can be done. It's just your fleet's pretty much destroyed.
Yeah.
Because you're rushing through the last one.
Yeah.
Because it's so big.
Yeah. And my Saturns just appear to be too slow. So.
Because I always do my usual thing. Each target, I map repair it or go into the base and split and repair it. So by the time we get to the last one, or by the time I get to the last one, I've only got like 11 minutes left. So
Even,
the last one is just rushing through.
Even when it's 7 targets in a 1 hour, you're able to do that?
Yeah.
Oh. I just
Usually maybe the second last one, number 6, I might not be able to repair because I'm running out of time. So I won't repair 6, and then going into 7, your fleet's already damaged. So it's a bit of a rush. Because I won't coin repair them no matter what.
I may try it again, but I don't know. Seems like a lot of work.
I'm up to Prize Pack 3, and yeah, 7 targets. No, I don't think I'll be able to do it.
Oh, it is 7 targets. Okay. It usually is. And it drops down to an hour, right?
Yes.
If they still give you the 2 hours, I think, yeah, okay.
2 hours is easy because, you'll be able to go in and do a couple the smaller repairs. But 1 hour, if you got 2 or 3 holes that needs, base repair, instant repair, by the time you run in, get all that done, and get back out there, you run wasted probably about 5 minutes. So that just takes time away from you.
Yeah, well, that's
Getting back to shipwrecks, so yeah, and anybody in a big alliance, I don't have anything against the point so much. Um, I think it's great that people can do this. I know that in some alliances it's only a handful, and others it can be most of the members. I think the winning your battles and not having to pay to repair your fleet is awesome. That was a great fix. Um, it makes it harder though for an alliance working together because you don't get free repairs if you're not holding a shipwreck. So if you're defending the shipwreck for your alliance, and then you're going to have to pay to repair even if you win the battle because you never come out scot-free.
I got on this morning for a few minutes before maybe about 3-4 a.m. and I hit one of the closest shipwrecks that was at my base, and as soon as I hit it, I won the battle, and then when I popped out of the battle, I was completely surrounded by 2 or 3 other people from other alliances and everything, and I lost the shipwreck. When I went in and looked around for another one, all the rest of them was still unowned. I'm like, geez, guys, you just waited for, one to be taken and you're going to knock them out? All the rest of them had nobody sitting at them.
Well, you know what the problem is? You see the links, and a lot of times you have to jump to them. Um, if you see somebody take that shipwreck, by the time you jump to another one that's unowned, then somebody else is going to beat you to it.
No, I won. I battled a shipwreck, and I won it. Everybody waited for me to win it and then turn around and knock me out of it, and none of the other shipwrecks were even being touched yet. It's like they all decided, okay, we're going to knock everybody out that wins one around that time of day. And I'm like, geez, y'all couldn't hit the rest of them. You waited till I hit this one and then decided to hit it. Okay. So that kind of knocked me back out of shipwrecks.
Okay. Well, let's. No, I want to cover this once we're done with the shipwreck conversation.
Yeah, I think we're done.
I don't know. Anybody else have anything else?
No.
I think we beat the shipwreck to death. I think it's now a shipwreck.
Alrighty. Let's go ahead and there is a. Could you go a little bit further up to see what the question is to a couple of them? There's some good questions that came from Truculent. One was, well, the ones I find interesting, or if anybody finds more of them interesting, we'll read the questions first. Why was the strategy guide only released 2 days before the raid? Builds were already set in stone. Last minute intelligence gives the player no ability to adjust their fleet. And let's go down to that one. The strategy guide was developed alongside the targets, and the design team worked some long hours to get everything done on time due to a number of factors. And the same designers doing that work also developing the strategy guide. The guide was delayed as a result, and we'll try to get out sooner next time. I don't know. We could throw this off as the fact that a lot of the designers are new, and it's taking them longer to develop targets than Robot and some of the other past designers were able to do. Does anybody think it's anything different than that? I mean, there could be some tinfoil hat stuff, but they're pretty new.
I think Robot and them, they knew how the raid cycle was. They had the targets already made up probably 2 or 3 months in advance instead of having to do the way they're doing now.
Well, but previously, yeah, they were, yeah, but then you had to go from people that had 6 or 7 years of experience to people that had 6 or 7 months of experience. One of the examples is, why have we seen this Apollo mechanic come back? Everybody knows this speed up mechanic is broken. It breaks the game. We get things that break up at times, and you're not really sure why. And then you add in the sync drives, and things start to fall apart once a lot of these things are combined. And I think if you had some of the older designers, they would have we're not doing that again. But they're reintroducing some mechanics in the game that were problematic when they were released. I don't know. Does it make sense to anybody?
Yeah, they just don't have the history.
Yeah. I don't think they're trying to screw us over with some of this stuff. Could you scroll up a little bit?
Up or down?
Up, I think. No, I guess it's down. Why is there? Okay.
Here's all the answers.
Okay. Well, the one I found quite interesting was the third one down. While VXP targets are intended to preview season mechanics, they are created during the development of the testing stages. So sometimes we needed to make changes prior to the raid. Honestly, we intended Gale 4s to be useful, and as many found out, sprints are the better choice. And this is what threw a lot of people off the raid. Participation seemed to be very low. There was no fix in place at that point in time. As we talked about on one of the shows, it appeared to be projectile speed based. And and a lot, Mike mentioned it, I think, at one point, and other people I've talked to, that some of their original can buy these builds included the Gale. Afterwards, after the targets were released, there was no countermeasures on any of the ships, and this is I found this to be a little bit problematic, that that they're running too close against the deadlines
Yeah.
to get things correct. The 2-month rate cycle is part of that. They don't, from what I see, the designers don't love it. The players don't love it. So who's benefiting from this? It's not the designers and the players. So it must be other people are
Must
involved.
be products.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is it benefiting their pocketbook? Bottom line, does it affect their bottom line dollars? Players aren't happy. Nobody likes it. If you had a poll, if you had a vote, I don't think a 2-month rate cycle would win from anybody.
I think there was a poll on the forums before that a lot of people said that they were unhappy about the 2-month cycle.
Yeah, but now we're actually seeing it. So yeah.
So if they want player feedback, I wish they would find a way to ask us, send their reports out, their polls, let them do an official poll, maybe see how the players really feel about it. Just like the answer to this last question about the weekly discussion thread was originally designed to keep track of weekly issues and events all in one place to get a snapshot of what's going on so they can action things more easily. If it isn't working, we are absolutely open to considering a switch back to the old system or finding something else that works better. Now, if that statement is true for the weekly discussion thread, I hope it's true for some of these other issues like the 2-month rate cycle. I hope they're open to considering finding a solution.
Well, they're pretty invested in it at this point. I don't know. I mean, yeah, it's I don't know if there's much to talk about, because they seem invested. They keep on doing it.
Because everybody's buying the TLOs.
Yeah. How many does anybody have the game open? How many do you have right now?
Hang on for a minute, I'll tell
I got
you.
11.
I'm looking.
I had 20. I had 20 something, I thought.
I have 18,
Okay.
I have
Yeah.
10.
Okay.
but I refuse to click on them.
Okay.
But you don't
That-
even want to
That
know
was
what they are?
one person in question.
I got a flash crash, so I can't tell you.
Okay.
It's TLC. Tom Little offer me.
Yeah.
You can buy them? Schedule them.
It is definitely a shift from repair revenue to refit revenue that they're aiming for. I don't know why they needed both now and they didn't before, but refit revenues become, or ship build, I guess, because you're not even. Most people want to have a full fleet before the first raid, and it's just not practical.
I know it's been said a lot of times, but the flipping upgrades are a pain in the butt.
Yeah, but ultimately that wasn't something you needed to speed up too much usually, but they want both now.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm back in. And anybody got the $29.99 U3 Dragon deal?
Dragoon?
Yeah.
I think mine's $19.99.
Mine was $29.99. Saw that too. LTE3, right?
Yeah.
That involves the Iron Claw and the Dragoons.
Mine's $9.99.
You're farther along the path.
I know.
Here.
Yeah.
It's only a couple of days.
And they know I like the party like it's 1999, so maybe that's why they gave it to me.
But the thing is, my Iron Claw is already fully upgraded, so I don't even know why I would have a deal that would include the Iron Claw. That doesn't make sense.
Well, it's because they're including everything. So, but you have a third of the price that other people have.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're seeing a mix of but you came second in that raid that gave you the upgrade tokens. So
Yeah.
everybody else is getting $29.99 or $19.99.
Yeah.
I was expecting to see this closer to the raid. Not at this point. I was expecting to see this in a couple of weeks. Not
Come out again. They'll do it again.
Yeah.
Well, see, this isn't a style of play that I enjoy. I don't want to buy my game. I've worked hard for years on this game. And have I spent coin? Yes. I'm not a huge coiner. I'm definitely not a whale. I'm probably just a guppy coiner. But, I don't spend more than I can afford to. So I've been able to control that, which is good.
And I used to use the raids as my guide. I didn't mind repair coin. I allocated $5 or $10 at most a year ago.
$5 or $10 per show, right?
Not quite that high yet.
Yeah. Okay.
But Kenny has to die a few more times to get to that level. But
okay.
But
we can make it happen.
I'm sure you could arrange that. Yeah, all I need now is for you guys to all be sitting outside my base and sinking my fleet when it comes out. Just
Well, yeah, we can't snipe PvE anymore. So yeah, that's not right. It's not going to happen. So yeah.
They haven't created minefields that you can drop on people's bases yet.
Yeah.
Yet.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be cool though? I hate you. I'm going to drop minefields all around your base. I better not give them any ideas.
Yeah, don't do that.
But then
200 coins to drop a nuke on the base from outside.
And then they have to come out with a minesweeper.
Stop it now.
It'll be Blackwater days. You'll have to go around the sector driving around sweeping minefields for your sector mates. Oh, I just did it, didn't I?
You did.
Sorry, Lady Cat. It sounds like a good idea, but no, Kix isn't listening, hopefully.
Let's move on to the 129 a little bit. Aussie, you have a very proficient build in regards to the pillage targets, the pillage garrison targets. Where you're able to do them for instance somewhere. How are you doing? How are you doing in the 129 targets at this point? Now you've had
I did two when they first come out, and I got 4 hours damage out of the two of them.
Okay.
Yeah, but,
what do you get in the 131s?
Don't do them. No.
Oh, okay.
You just use those 120s.
Yeah. I've done the FM just hitting the 120s. Well, plus the two 125s, 9s.
Okay. Yeah, I was looking for you as far as if you had a little chance to adjust as far as how the sprint heavy build is working there, and you have yours armored. So I'm just trying to figure out. I
still don't think the armor's working.
I don't think it's working on that target. Like we did that experiment with the other target, and it was working with the raid target. Today, because I had a glut, I saved up a ton of tokens going into the raid for adjustments, and I still ended up with 4 days worth of tokens after the raid was over. So in order to get close to, I kept 1 day, 23 hours, whatnot, I changed my last ship from having 1X and 1M to 1X, 1M, and then I changed one of my counters, and I changed combustion system to cluster reload, and I think I did one more thing. So it was close to 2 days. And I was surprised. Before I was autoing the targets for, and then I did a similar thing to another ship, and slightly different adjustments. And before I was autoing the targets, the 129s, for 2 hours and 22 minutes. And then afterwards, I was autoing the targets for 2 hours and 22 minutes. And I think somebody else on the panel also gets that 2 hours and 22 minutes
Yeah.
autoing targets. And adding the two, and it feels like I'm taking more damage on the fifth ship than I did before. Even though I've added 2 of the M armors associated with it, and I upped my reload significantly. Not all my ships are the same; they're a mishmash. They're a little like Kenny's ships, but different.
Read better.
I'm going to go on auto one just to see what it comes out at.
Well, the
Not doing anything anyway.
129s, and just like someone said, I think it was Sagi, somebody in chat, the 129s are all explosive damage, or mostly explosive, and the 130.
Well, except for why am I taking all this damage on my last ship?
That I can't answer because that's been a problem all along. But as far as adding your penetrative armor to improve anything, that's not going to happen for a 129. You need to add
No. If you look at the battle report, there's still a significant amount of damage associated with penetrative.
Right.
It's just that there's more than there was in the 131. It's not that it's all explosive. So saying that adding penetrative defense is not going to do anything, that's not.
Well,
really.
I don't think it would not do anything. I don't think it would do as much as adding explosive.
Well, except for we're limited on how much explosive we can add at this point, because we've only been able to get 2 per week, and so prior to going in this week, we had 6 of them, so you could only really get 1 per ship and then 1 extra.
Right.
So you don't really have the ability to go, and all my ships have 1, so you don't have the ability to go much above that with the explosive. So yeah.
And do you know what's super annoying is you get 2-day tokens, more 2-day tokens than 1-day tokens in the FM. And I don't have 2 days worth of build changes to make to my Praetorians.
Yeah.
So it's just really annoying to make any changes at all to add armor or
just
2.
one armor is like only 8 hours or something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
but listen what we're complaining about, though. We're complaining that build times are too low. We need to up them.
No.
What she's saying is you can't refit using a 2-day token. So she would prefer 4 1-day tokens instead of 2 2-day tokens. I think that's what she's saying.
I know, but it's.
Yeah, I know. Well, yeah, it's nice to be able to say you have higher tokens than your refit time allows, but nobody wants to waste a 2-day token on an 8-hour change. That's sacrilegious.
Or even a 1-day token on 8 hours.
Yeah, even a 1 day on 8 hours. Because we know how hard we fight for shipyard time. So it's just another little frustration, that's all.
Okay. Mitchell asks, is it best to have the number 5 Dragoon, the CM ship? Personally, I love the CM ship idea, and I've implemented it many times. But because of the combination of survival that's added by the Glia system and countermeasure boosts, I don't have a CM ship. And a lot of the good builds that are going on have 20 CMs, and you're only able to have 4 per ship. So does anybody have a CM? I'm sorry. I was going in the wrong direction.
Yeah, you're Praetorian.
Okay. Yeah. I was going Praetorian. I would say no. I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that. We were talking Praetorians and that came up. I would say no, just from the fact that if you want to rotate them, the number 5 is going to take the most damage from what we've seen. So I would try to make it one of the 2, 3, and 4 ships, or the 1. Because Aussie, you have the flag as your CM ship, right?
That is correct.
Yeah, and just as far as if you're the type of player that likes to go out and continually hit targets until it's time to go to bed or walk away from the computer and then repair them all, I wouldn't put it as the number 5, just because that's going to take the most damage, and it's going to continually take the most damage. So I would say no. Anybody else agree, disagree, have thoughts on this?
I agree with that. Yeah.
I agree too. If you want to switch them around.
I mean, if you have it as 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, yeah, okay. If you don't want to put it on the flag, but at least then you can still rotate it. But I wouldn't definitely not just leave it in the number 5 spot the whole time, because it's going to die.
Right. It's not going to help the 5th ships stay
No,
safer.
No.
Well, that's not going to give you any benefits, because they don't have survival on the
Sprints.
Yeah, thank you.
I'll be back in a second. The dogs are barking at something for the last 2 minutes.
I mean, I think the Gale 4s do, don't they? They have an explosive survival on them, I think, don't they? But they're not working, so it sort of defeats the point. And they don't have explosive in the target anyway, do they?
Yeah, I think they do.
They don't. Yeah, but they don't have an explosive damage in the target, so it doesn't really help either.
Right. And the little bit of defense that you might get from it, I don't know if it's enough to matter.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. The Gales have explosive defense, so
Right.
that's not going to help in the raid targets.
Right. Not in the raid targets. Correct.
Okay, I'm doing a 125. What's the number? A 129 on auto at the moment, and I'm watching it. The number 5 ship's definitely taking more damage than the rest.
Yeah, mine's doing that
what?
too.
It's got a couple more things to
And I put the new explosive armor on the number 5 ship thinking it would help, but it didn't.
It's nearly done.
We're waiting to. Too bad we can't watch it, but we're waiting to see what your number is.
Yeah, because because I've got StreamYards open on Chrome, not on Chrome, on Firefox, and you can't screen share it. I was going to screen share it, but it says you can't do it.
It's because you have to download a plugin.
Oh, do you? Okay. It didn't say that. It said that it's blocked. I tried unblocking it, but it wouldn't let me do that either. Okay, it took explosive damage more than anything else. And let's see. 2 hours, 18 minutes.
Okay, so you beat me in
So
Hefe
it's
by
still the
4
same.
minutes.
So, yeah, so there you go. Now I'm going to go repair my fleet.
What? For in chat, what's the lowest you're getting on a 129? And are you autoing or driving? I'd love to hear what other people are getting. If you want to let us know in the chat.
For myself, I haven't even hit them because I know the fleet's not ready yet.
I know I'm one of those players, especially because I work and I work weekends, that it is easier for me to hit a couple targets like in the morning before work.
Wait, I just lied. I did hit 2.
You did what?
I did hit 2 of those the other night.
Okay, liar.
Yeah, I did.
Does anybody else seem like the damage has been turned up on the 120s?
I don't think so, or I didn't notice. But like most, I just do it with 1 Praetorian on auto, and they're always map repair. But I don't look at the amount of damage.
Well, that's what I'm doing. But last FM, I was getting map repair. This FM, I'm getting up to 6-7 minutes of damage.
Now, I found that the entry point seems to make a difference. Not I've somebody else found it and I tried it, and it does seem to make a difference if you enter it at right at the top.
Well, I found that only happens in the 121s. If I go in north on a 120, slightly off north to the east a little bit, it's instant map repair. If I go a little bit to the left, it goes over.
Let's see, I have that with the one
every time.
If I hit the 121s from
Really
about
weird.
the 5 o'clock position.
Sorry, what?
If I hit the 121s from the 9 o'clock position,
Okay.
3 of my 5 do it. The flag was not ever able to do it. I'm talking about map repair. I put 2 of the new armors on the flag, and now it does map repair on the 121s. So there's one more of my ships that I have to add a piece of armor to, and then should be able to do 99% of the time map repair. And sometimes I get like 5 minutes and 5 seconds or something like that, and my stupid clicking finger spends a coin. But otherwise, it's I haven't really noticed a big.
Just don't let it slip on one of those limited time offers.
Oh, I will.
What?
Oh, I will. I'm sure.
No.
Well, I've done those before and not even known that I did it.
Oh.
Or no, I knew I did it,
You
but I
expect me to
didn't do it
believe?
on purpose.
You expect me to believe that, don't you?
I do expect you to believe that I have done them unintentionally. Yes.
So when he all of a sudden says finished fleet, it's like, oops.
I have. I'll tell you the truth. I have inadvertently done that.
In that 129, all the ships, except number 5, were around 26 minutes. The flag was only 25. But number 5 ship was 47 minutes. So it took nearly twice as much damage as the others.
So that target has a 5th ship problem.
And there's 2 ships. Like, my armors are pretty close, but number 5 and number 4 have exactly the same armor, exactly the same build. And yeah, one was 26, one was 47. So the armor doesn't really make a difference on any of the other ships because they're all the same. And
Sorry, I still think it's a conspiracy theory. Sorry.
Lego says he has a way to spend 50 minutes and get 75 million for 9.5 hour repair. So we'll have to learn his trick. In the meantime, I switched to the forum just to see if the update has come out yet. The update VP next week, it has not. So Hefe gets his dogs to stop barking. I won't be able to go live and let him tell you what's going on. Once they post it.
Hefe probably went for a beer.
What's up?
Hefe probably went and got something to drink.
Yeah, I bet he did.
Yeah, I was looking for the VP next week, but it's not here yet.
No, it's no announcement yet. I've been keeping an eye on it, but it has not popped up yet.
Yeah, you can take me off present now, then.
Well, that's your job.
Oh, I could do that. Right.
Yeah, that's no longer my job.
Well, it's one of your jobs, but never mind.
Yeah, it's
okay.
In this software, it's not really my thing. So, okay. Lego says, "Lady Cat, I spent 50 minutes and get 75 million for 91.5 hour repair." No, because 9.5 hours repair. So, okay. And still need to refit the sprints. I'm guessing this is hitting partial targets. So how's everybody doing? I was checking on the dogs if nobody heard me. They were barking for 4 minutes straight outside, so making sure one of them wasn't dead.
I think we're talked out.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that I was wondering about some of these discrepancies that we're seeing in the targets, would you guys consider it fair if there's no debuff arrow? If some of these targets, the FM targets were, like what's going on in PvP, we're providing debuffs to your survival and your your armor pool and whatnot. Would anybody else find that too complicated for something that we really don't know the base mechanics about because it's sort of hidden from us?
So you mean like
because that's one of the things I'm considering when I look at some of the performance that we're seeing in these targets, that we're getting things like, every time you get hit by you're getting negative whatever survival, or things like this could be happening for some period of time, and because some of it doesn't make sense when you're adding armor. It doesn't appear to be doing you any good. I would expect to have some sort of down arrow or something to indicate that there's something impacting the fleet or the ship involved.
I think that'd be great, but then we're going to want to know what it is that's impacting us. Are they going to?
I personally, I think it would be unfair if they use those kind of mechanics without telling us that they exist inside the target.
But they probably are, aren't they? I just kind of assume they are.
Well, it just feels unfair. It feels against the rules if they don't provide us any information associated with that. So,
True. Agreed.
So, not that we know that that's what's going on, but everybody's struggling to understand the mechanics of some of these targets, and it feels like there might be a chance that something like that is going on.
They do seem to be aiming for minimum damage, though. There's only an hour and 10 minutes difference between Kenny's really bad boats and the best, and that's with all the. I have no armor on those, so the best ones probably all have a good armor and stuff. That's an awfully small differential.
Yeah.
Between a bad build and a finished one.
See, the finished ones should get hardly any damage.
Right, exactly. My point.
How it used to be.
Yeah, it was. If you had a good build, it used to be you aced it, and if you had a bad build, you envied the other person. Now it's an hour difference. That's craziness.
Okay.
And that's how they used to get me. I would buy tokens and stuff up front so I could do them for little to no repair. And I was happy to do that, but I don't like it the other way.
Okay.
Just my opinion.
Righty. Well, if I put the link out in case anybody would like to join the after show, or if anybody wants to come in and chime in at this point, you're welcome to it. But otherwise, I think it's been an hour, so we'll wrap things up.
Mike, what's your shipwreck points on now?
I don't think you want to say.
Nah, it's again,
Just
it's
wondering.
not. It's not. It's the game. It's
He's not going to answer me.
I'm not running. Well, like I said, I tried running Shipwrecks, but after what happened, I'm not running. But I guess somebody in my lines tried them, and I got 4,000 points from it. So
Yeah.
You're gonna have trouble spending that.
I'd run it, but it's just the fact of it is, this the upgrades really. I knew what I went in with wasn't upgraded, and I knew I was going to get hit by somebody that was upgraded. So
Well, they understand the problem that we all thought shipwrecks should be fair and skill based, not you know coin based or all these upgrades. So they're trying to get there. I think it's a door that I think they wish they hadn't opened, but they did. So they can't just close it. I think eventually it'll be better. I don't know. I
I think
still enjoy it.
I think a lot of these top alliances and that are hitting the smaller players, and since they've got the upgrade tokens in them, so but they're knocking people out of them, so they can't upgrade.
Say it one more time. I
They
didn't quite
have
follow that.
they have interceptor upgrade tokens in the upgrade targets. Well, the shipwrecks. I think people are knocking other players and that out of them, so they don't get the tokens and can't do the upgrades. Just
Yeah,
plainly put.
yeah, but there's a lot of other reasons that they, because they can get points and whatnot. There's other, yeah, I sort of see what you're saying, but there's a lot of other reasons why they would want to knock you
Yeah,
out.
yeah. I wouldn't say it's as personal as that. Hopefully it's not as personal as that. People want the points for themselves,
Yeah.
their alliance. So they're not trying to make you other players worse. They're just trying to make themselves better.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Mike, are you still here? Not on mute, so I don't know. Alrighty. Well, I guess we'll wind things up. The link is in the right-hand side, in case anybody else would like to join, and we'll see you on Wednesday, if not before.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
See ya.
Good morning.
Good night.
Morning, yeah, that too.